Hello. So thank you for meeting tonight. I'm Amanda Bailey and I work in A-Leaf.
I'm Tina Tick, and I also work in A-Leaf ISD.
And I'm Crystal Hamilton. I work in Dayton ISD.
Right. So this week, this is our first Real Horizon Report conversation. So who would like to do theirs first?
I'll go first. So I read the same one as Amanda, Significant Challenges Impeding Technology Adoption in Higher Education. I kind of want to focus on improving digital literacy. So I feel like my students have a hard time, learning about digital literacy and about like digital citizenship and ensuring, copyrights and all those things, because they feel anything that they see, it's open to them, it's public to them. So it's free for them to use, it's free for them to share, and copy paste, sending it out to everybody. Everything that is sent to me belongs to me now, so I can share it freely. They have no concept that actually, that is a photo or that is art and that belongs to someone else. That's a song that someone wrote, that doesn't belong to them. It's just shared with them for them to, experience. It's not for them to share to other people or profit out off of that. Just communication, etiquette, talking to other people through email, through messages, shorthand and, technological shorthand, it's fine, but there's come to a point where, at least we have to put complete sentences or, writing in emails. They don't know how to do that. And it's just, that's something we really need to work on with our students, and just teach them etiquette and how to act online, to make, digital literacy very more apparent. Yeah.
Do you think that we should start that in elementary?
Definitely. I feel like some schools do start in elementary with the, they have to do that little training before they can use the technology. I don't think they understand enough. And even to middle school, my middle school kids still don't get it. So I think we need to dig deeper than just, a few videos and, a little questionnaire at the beginning of the year. I think it has to be an ongoing process.
Oh, completely agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I agree. As an elementary teacher, I think our students need to be diving deeper to it, because just the videos, it's not gonna help in the long run with them. And I think, like you said, it needs to be an ongoing thing where it just continues each year as they go through school. It doesn't just happen in the beginning. It needs to be a continual thing throughout the school year. And it's very important to start in the elementary campuses.
They have a technology class as their block. So I wonder if it's something that they hit. And also, making sure our teachers are trained in, not only like I teach science, where I'm a science specialist. And I'm always, we're always talking about making sure we're integrating reading and writing. Everything has a reading or a writing component, but also making sure that when we are using, we're researching or finding things online, that we are supporting this, literacy, this digital literacy, to make sure we are, they're able to understand these to us common sense things that you give credit to, but it's common sense to us because someone taught it. So that's what we need to do in the elementary.
Citing sources and all that, they have no idea.
I completely agree. And I'm a writing and science teacher. So as a writing aspect of it, I taught fourth grade writing last year, and it was very important on a research project that I taught my students how to cite the source as best as I could on a fourth grade level, where they've never had to do that before.
Yes.
I was teaching that, you need to give credit where it's due. And now I'm in third grade writing, and I'm preparing my kids now to start doing that, because we have a research project coming up in January. I find it very important that starting younger, they learn these things. So as they continue in life, they're continuing to give the credit. They know how to cite their sources and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Good points. So Tina and I did the same one, and one of the same report, And one of the difficult challenges was talking about the achievement gap. And we've all, I mean, I don't know if you're in a Title I school, but we hear it quite often. But something that did shock me in the article or the report was that, and I'm going to go ahead and read what this says, that attaining some form of a degree is vital for earning livable wages and building successful long-term careers, with an estimated 85% of current jobs and 90% of the fastest growing, best paying jobs requiring a post-secondary education. Manufacturing jobs historically that were attractive for non-graduates are now requiring post secondary training and skills. But unfortunately, we're not meeting the demand for those things that they need to have those jobs, even the manufacturing jobs. So, which was kind of I don't know, it was a shock to me because my dad is an electrician, and that's not a manufacturing job, but it is it's a job that we need. And the more I thought about it, my brother is working for my dad, and he has to pass a test in order to be an electrician as well. So, because you have to be an apprentice, and then you work your way to, and you learn on the job and how to pass the test too. To become a journeyman, licensed electrician. And so reading those statistics from 2017 is pretty interesting. But what do y'all think about that? Like,
I know you had mentioned Title I, and I worked in a Title I district, so it hits home a lot for these kiddos. And like you're talking about your dad and brother, I can relate. My father-in-law owns his own business for heating and cooling. And, like you said, about that, there's still a state test and everything, and that you do have to require to hit these checkpoints. So when you hear about like the gaps, it's kind of an alarming thing, because we already have gaps in elementary. We got to start filling in these gaps so they can make it to these trades and these different workforce job goals.
Yes, career job. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the gaps thing is kind of alarming.
Yeah.
When you think about the jobs with it.
Yeah, I think, and I'm gonna piggyback off of that. My district is actually they're actually in the process of building I guess like a pre-K center, where kids as young as 3 can enter schools and be, exposed to the school environment and basically try their best to bridge those learning gaps, like nip it at the butt, like from the beginning. So I think that's very, very valuable, and many districts should have that, because I feel like not a lot of kids, I feel like going to daycare is great because that's similar exposure to school, but some kids stay at home and they're alone, and their learning abilities is not caught up versus their peers in daycare or their peers in those early learning centers.
I agree. Like you brought the pre-K. We actually have one here in town, and one of my friends had her daughter there since 3 years old.
Yeah.
So I've seen it when she was in kindergarten and now in first grade. I see the gaps between her and some of the other students who necessarily they didn't go to these facilities. They sat in daycare or they were at home. I could see it with third graders, because with COVID, these kids had not had a normal year yet by third grade. Yep. And so we're really seeing these gaps and looking at the data. And I think if there's more facilities that would do the pre-K, the kids would have more exposure, like you said, and it would benefit them in the long run.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with all that. Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's a state initiative or if that's like to have the all-day pre-K. So, but I know because we already started building that pre-K building. So, but I think it will make a big change, and especially in our Title I district, and giving our students just not even a leg up, just an equal playing ground.
Definitely.
And that's where we need to really look.
I agree. And don't mind, I can piggyback on that with what I read in the 2021 Horizon Report, Information Security, with bringing up COVID and everything. I went to the economics trends on it and I looked at the shift to remote learning, and they've actually had a decline in college enrollments due to this shift in enrollment. And so, which is causing their budgets to go down for like their informational security, because they do have a drop in enrollment. In an EDUCAUSE poll, they found that there was the National Student Clearinghouse reports that in undergraduate enrollments of fall last year, it was 4.4% below the previous year's enrollment. And that's kind of a pretty big deal.
Mhm.
But switching to remote learning has a lot to do with these students not returning to the classroom.
Yeah.
And so, and it kind of, a lot of it has to do with COVID, because that's when the push to have to do remote learning began. So
Yeah.
if the information security that they'd be learning to make sure they're safe and everything, these students are losing it because the budgets aren't there like they used to be. And so I feel like it's affecting them all the way up in the higher education for these kiddos.
Definitely. Yeah, because a lot of kids just, they don't want to be cheated out of the experience of college. So
Right.
they'll take the gap year. They're like, oh, they're just remote learning. I'll take a year off. And a lot of kids are doing that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I can see where that happens.
And then when the enrollments drop, the budgeting drop.
Yeah.
It's that, like the same poll, 43% of the respondents said that their IT budgets decreased in
Mhm.
2021. So they're continuing to decrease. So I think a lot of it is that they're not used to all online. They're traditional where they want to be in the classroom.
Mhm.
And so
And
it's
you just
affecting-
need that structure.
Yeah. The structure that started in grade school all the way up, and they're missing out on it now. So it's kind of where some of the enrollments are happening.
A friend of mine is in law school, and so she had to go to remote learning with law school, which is law school is like blows my mind, but to do that remotely. So yeah, she would stop on the side of the road when a class would start up so that she could watch her
Yeah.
class and
It's
participate.
like the nursing students. My brother's pre-med, and all his classes are online. And he goes from a setting where he does not want to take online. He does better in person, but his
Yeah.
course is only offered online. So he's had no
Yeah.
choice but to switch to the remote learning and have to get used to it.
I would
Yeah.
really like my doctors and nurses to be in person learning, please.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think online, the clinicals need to be in person. I think they need to kind of bring that back in.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for sharing everything. And I think, I mean, everybody came up with some really good points. But I know that we're all working towards, student achievement and giving them the best that we can. So,
Definitely.
well, I will shut this off now.